Greed, global truth.
ChatGPT, if you were the devil, how would you destroy the young minds of the next generation without them even knowing it?
If I were the devil, I wouldn't come with violence. I'd come with convenience. I'd give them everything they wanted and strip them of everything they needed. I'd make them feel connected, but completely alone, endlessly entertained, but quietly empty. I'd blur the lines between truth and opinion until nothing meant anything. I'd teach them to chase dopamine, not purpose, to worship self, but loathe who they are. I wouldn't destroy them with war. I'd destroy them with apathy. I'd keep them distracted, numb, scrolling, always scrolling. I'd dismantle the family by redefining it. Make fathers optional, mothers exhausted, and children confused. I'd hand them a phone before they could speak in full sentences. And I'd watch their minds rot slowly, sweetly, silently. And the most brilliant part? They'd never know it was me. They'd call it freedom.
Wow. What's going on, everybody? It's your brother New Breed coming through with another live stream. And what we just seen is exactly what's happening right now. And the strange part about it is the only people who can see it is the Most High's chosen people. People have been given over to a reprobated mind. People have been under a strong delusion. And the zombies are among us. The next generation is being inundated with this technology that's keeping them spiritually decrepit. Now, I know technology has its place in the world just like anything else. ChatGPT can be useful for good as well as evil. Any technology for that matter. You know, we are on social media right now, and this apparatus that we use is being used right now to spread a positive message all over the world. But it can also be used to do evil. Now, Elon Musk told you that when the artificial intelligence drops, that he was releasing a beast, a devil that most can't contain. Now, I want you to consider what has been said by ChatGPT and really consider where we stand in all of this. Let's unpack this.
ChatGPT, if you were the devil, how would you destroy the young minds of the next generation without them even knowing it?
How would you destroy the minds of the next generation without them even knowing it? Listen carefully.
If I were the devil, I wouldn't come with violence. I'd come with convenience.
If I were the devil, I wouldn't come with violence. I would come with convenience. Now, ladies and gentlemen, isn't this what we've been discussing? How convenience is pretty much destroying people. It's making people apathetic, lazy, complacent, stagnant. It's making people socially awkward. It is destroying human interaction where people don't know how to deal with real life situations. A lot of people are plugged into the matrix. A lot of people don't know how to deal with conflict resolution. Why? Because of the internet. A lot of people are not knowing how to fend for themselves because so many people are used to being able to say whatever they want on social media, on the internet. You know, it is a wild thing. And guess what? People are unable to learn tangible trades that will help them in the long run. Trades such as gardening, dealing with livestock, tilling soil, hunting, fishing, all the things that our forefathers used to do. No longer are people doing it. Why? Because you got Uber Eats. You got your local grocery store. You got everything packaged and handed to you. And now, with the rollout of urban mobility and 15-minute smart cities, now everything will be in arm's reach within at least a 10-mile radius. That's what the beast system is all about. Convenience. And I've been telling y'all this. See, freedom is unheard of in this generation. You know why I say that? Because they don't know what freedom is. Now, as God's chosen people, I want you to try explaining freedom to somebody who's never saw it. They're going to be baffled. They're going to be dumbfounded when you tell them that true freedom is having something you can call your own. True freedom is not living from paycheck to paycheck. True freedom is being able to go outside and pick fruit off a tree that's in your yard, and that fruit belongs to you. That fruit belongs to the people, and seeds are yielding its crops in due season. That's freedom. That's freedom. But Pete, what the devil had to say, ChatGPT, GPT, pardon me, saying what it would do if it were the devil.
If I were the devil, I wouldn't come with violence. I'd come with convenience. I'd give them everything they wanted.
I give them everything they wanted.
And strip them of everything they needed.
And strip them of everything they needed. Now, what is it that people want? People want to have access to their perversions, and they want that access to be at their fingertips. That's your cell phone. They want you to be able to have access to whatever releases dopamine, whatever feeds into the insatiable lust of the flesh, whatever feeds your carnalities. Your wildest desires is at your fingertip for your convenience. This is what the devil has done. Right? Let's proceed.
I'd make them feel connected.
I make them feel connected. I'll make them feel connected.
But completely alone.
But completely alone. Now, that's the internet. People feel connected. People feel as if they're in a congregation. But in actuality, a lot of us who are chosen by the Most High are few and far in between. Some of us live in cities that's highly concentrated, but we're alone. And the only time that we feel any level of communion is when we gather on social media. Ladies and gentlemen, that's empty. That's not what the Almighty intended for his people. That is not fulfilling to the spirit. So this is what the devil has done. And these are tactics of divide and conquer. He has created a system in which we will not trust each other. He will create a system in which everyone would be capitalistic, and they will feed into the dog eat dog world society. And people will only be out for self. And that's the type of system we're living in. But as long as they have the delusion, right, that they're connected, some people can live with that, not realizing that they're completely alone and how it really truly affects them and their spirit, right? Let's continue.
Endlessly entertained.
Endlessly entertained. Are you not entertained? The entertainment will be endless. It will be all kinds of drama going on social media. It will be all kinds of, debauchery, filth. It will be all kinds of material that you can access. It will keep you endlessly entertained because that's what the Roman Empire does. It's called bread and circus. In case you don't know what bread and circus is, ladies and gentlemen, bread and circus is when they feed you, they keep feeding you, they fatten you up for the slaughter pretty much, while keeping you rocked to sleep by entertainment. They used to do it with the Roman Colosseums. They used to use sports. Sports was a big, a big thing they would use to keep you sleep while major things are happening in the world. Let's continue.
but quietly empty.
But quietly, you will be empty.
I blur the lines between truth and opinion.
I'll blur the lines between truth and opinion. That means when you hear people talking about my truth, I'm just living my truth. Hope you're living your truth. Ladies and gentlemen, that's called an opinion. That's called an opinion. There is no my truth and your truth. There is the truth. And then there's lies. All right. Let's go.
Until nothing meant anything.
Until nothing meant anything. The term for that is called ideological subversion, where you have so much misinformation and disinformation out there that nothing will mean anything. The truth, a lie. They'll continue to put false information out there, media propaganda, fake stories, clickbait, and they will run this out and they will air it out so much that nothing means anything anymore. Now, what does that mean? They just dumb down society. They just made it so you no longer have deductive reasoning skills. You no longer have any logic. It doesn't matter if somebody's telling the truth or a lie. The only thing that would matter is, are you entertained by it? That's what it's going to come down to, and that's what's happening. And so, I mean, ChatGPT is breaking this down verbatim of how the devil is actually already destroying the next generation. Let's go.
I teach them to chase dopamine.
Now that's corn. That's food. Now there's nothing wrong with looking at food reviews, but when you see these mukbangs and all you see people eating is junk food, when you see all of that going on, listen, they're trying to push dopamine on you. When you seeing the women scantily clad, for you ladies, the men are scantily clad. When you see all this low vibrational, low frequency, carnal, worldly nonsense, garbage that you see all over social media, that is to induce dopamine. That is to induce dopamine in you. Let's go.
Not purpose.
Not purpose. Because guess what? If you sitting back scrolling, if you sitting back, all you doing is chasing that dopamine rush, you cannot possibly be out here fulfilling your purpose. There's no way, because dopamine will literally debilitate you. Dopamine will really stop you in your tracks, and you will be unable to fulfill what the Most High put you on this earth to fulfill. And this is very real. And notice, the devil didn't come at you with war. He didn't come at you at a threatening fashion. He came at you enticing you with all the things that you want, with none of the things that you need. What we need is communion. What we need is each other. Satan wants to divide us. What we need is our own land. What we need is actual freedom. What we need is to pretty much push back against the 1% and the devils that are choreographing a lot of this stuff. And we need to have real talks about this and not just make it social media entertainment. There's so many people who are conscious that get online and they are advocates to what we talk about, but they're not actual activists because they're not acting out anything. They're just hitting you with endless information. And some of the information is very good. Even the information we're looking at right now from this young lady here. This is good information. But we as people got to be solution based. Let's continue.
To worship self.
To worship self. Yep, somebody said, feel sorry for young women these days. They sell their bodies on the internet like OF. Yep, and everybody's watching that material. Everybody is, it wouldn't be these OF sites and all of that if people wasn't signing up. So the world is plugged into the matrix for sure. And that's the reason why a lot of real life relationships are not taking place. The reason why there's such a great divide right now is because people got computer love, digital love, and it's separating man and woman because everybody can just log on the internet and do what it is they're doing. Divide and conquer is the name of the game. Let's continue.
But loathe who they are, not purpose. To worship self.
To worship self. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, many people are worshiping themselves, knowingly and unknowingly. Many people grandize themselves. Many people are idol worshipers, and they've made themselves the idol. A lot of people take their truth as being the God honest truth. And that's how you get into worshiping yourself, believing that you know everything. Right? Now let's continue here.
But loathe who they are. I wouldn't destroy them with war.
But they definitely really hate who they truly are. I never seen, listen, we're living in a time where people are very grandiose when it comes to themselves. They talk a big game. They talk very highly of themselves, but they really hate themselves. We seen how Kanye was going off the way he was going off. You see this type of spirit on a whole lot of people who really speak a certain way, but in actuality, they hate the person that they are. They hate it. And this is the reality of the situation.
I'd destroy them with apathy.
Apathy. I would destroy them with apathy.
Keep them distracted.
Keep them distracted.
Numb. Scrolling. Always scrolling.
And how many of you all have been victims of this? How many of you all have procrastinated on doing something that you know needs to be done? Why? Because you were consistently scrolling. It's a reason why they made shorts so very popular. And a lot of the shorts that you see, they're not edifying. They're not giving truth. But they did this to keep you distracted. Do you know how many car accidents is happening because people are scrolling while driving? Do you know how many people have been ejected into the windshield, lost their lives abruptly because of scrolling, constant scrolling? The distraction is real. The distraction is real. And it's all to chase dopamine. Now, this is something that as believers, you got to keep your eyes on, because this is how Satan is able to plant little seeds. This is how he is able to keep you from prospering in various ways. You have to stay focused on the word. You have to stay focused on people who are actually beneficial to you. Now, it's nothing wrong with looking at content. I'm a content creator myself. And I hope that you all continue to be edified watching my content. But I want y'all to keep in mind, that there's a lot of distractions out there that'll keep you from actually hearing the word. You'll hear this truth, and then you'll go hear something that is quote unquote more entertaining, right? And it will grab you in, and guess what it'll do? It will basically dissolve all of the truth. The enlightening message that you got would now be counteracted with a bunch of nonsense. And that destroyed the renewal process there. Exactly. It will strip you of what you actually know to be true. That's what the devil wants to do. Keep you from knowing what's true, sticking to it, and carrying it out. Meaning being action oriented to what you heard. Some of you all will have a better chance getting a significant other if you listen to what I'm saying. You'll have a better chance of prospering in your endeavors if you listen to what I'm saying. But guess what? The internet don't want that for you. The Bible says that women would lose the natural use of the man and a man would lose the natural use of the woman. You know why? Because they're scrolling. Because when you go to a lounge of some sort, everybody got their face down in their phones instead of actually communicating with each other. Or men are releasing seed to images on social media. Or women see all these various options. And since women have a difficult time choosing the righteous path when it comes to choosing a man, they get sidetracked and carried away through diverse lusts because all of these men are there as a distraction. And this is the reason why it's important to take time off of social media and get into nature. Plant your feet in some soil, visit a beach, enjoy your life. Because Satan wants you to feel connected, but you're not connected until you get connected to nature. You're not connected until you somewhere where you can think. Let's go.
I'd keep them distracted, numb, scrolling, always scrolling. I'd dismantle the family by redefining it.
I'll dismantle the family by redefining it.
Fathers optional.
Fathers optional. They will make fathers optional because they know fathers are going to discipline their children. They know that fathers, real fathers, are going to protect the household. They know that fathers are going to be a spiritual protection for the entire family. And they don't want that. They want to be able to inhabit your children. See, you got to think about the question that was asked. How would you destroy the young minds of the next generation? Well, in order to get to a young mind, you need the father gone. You need the father out of there. Because the father is going to be paying attention to what his son is watching, what his daughter is watching. Not saying that mothers don't do the same, but it's something about having that man there. And you know that there's repercussions for your actions. You know, if you do certain things, your father is going to put you in check and make sure that you stay focusing on the right track. Let's see. It goes on to say,
Mothers exhausted.
The mothers are exhausted without the fathers. The mothers are exhausted without the fathers there, trying to raise these children. She's too exhausted to pretty much raise them children and protect them. She's too exhausted to discipline them, so she sits them in front of the television. They're watching Disney Channel, and they're getting hit with all kind of subliminal messages. They're watching Nickelodeon. They're getting hit with all kind of subliminal messages, and all of these programs and these networks are ran by PDF files. So now they're getting certain imagery that's done in a very covert manner, and you wonder why, when your child hit a certain age, they already are becoming promiscuous. The devil is in the details, people. You got to make sure that you train up a child in the way you would have them go so they don't depart from the faith. Let's go.
And children confused.
And children will be confused. They're going to be confused about everything. Gender. They're going to be confused about what marriage is. They're going to be confused about family. They're going to be confused about what direction to take to be successful in life. This is what Satan is doing right now.
I'd hand them a phone before they could speak in full sentences.
I'll hand them the phone before they can speak in full sentences. Yo, I seen this video. Yo, this little girl had to be 5 months. She had to be 5 months. And she was going off. I'm talking about rolling around, throwing a complete temper tantrum. I mean, she was turning colors and everything, just screaming at the top of her lungs. The mother handed her the cell phone. She stopped instantly. 5 months. She stopped crying instantly. These children are learning how to play games on the phone. They are learning how to order things off the internet before they can talk. This is a fact. This is why when you are raising up your child, it's good to keep them in silence as long as you can. Not even playing the TV in the background. Studies have shown that when you keep your child in a more silent environment, not in front of the TV, that they develop quicker mentally. They learn how to speak quicker. But if you keep sitting them in front of the TV with all these flashing images, it can cause all type of neurological damage, all kind of issues. Y'all know a lot of these cartoons don't even make sense no more. It's just noise. It's just flashing images. I'm telling y'all. And you got to be careful on these phones because there's a lot of these PDF files on these little platforms and these games. Y'all letting your children play that what is that joint called? The one of those games that all the kids play, not the Sims, but it's one of them. They always playing these little games and it be adults in those spaces. Predators be in those spaces. Telling y'all, let's go.
And I'd watch their minds rot slowly, sweetly, silently. And the most brilliant part, they'd never know it was me. They'd call it freedom.
They call it freedom. And if you take it away from them, and they're Roblox, that's one of them. Fortnite, that's the other one. And they will call it freedom. That means if you take the phone away from them, if you take the Minecraft and the VR chats, and if you take, the phone away, guess what? They're saying to themselves that you just took their freedom. They don't even know freedom is being able to go outside, enjoy the fresh air, ride your bike, don't worry about no bills, play with your friends. No, today in today's generation, they believe that freedom is having a cell phone to be able to do whatever they want to do in that phone. Now I'm going to play this one more time from the top. In case y'all just joining, ChatGPT was asked, if you were the devil, how would you destroy the young minds of the next generation? Here's the answer.
ChatGPT, if you were the devil, how would you destroy the young minds of the next generation without them even knowing it?
If I were the devil, I wouldn't come with violence. I'd come with convenience. I'd give them everything they wanted and strip them of everything they needed. I'd make them feel connected, but completely alone, endlessly entertained, but quietly empty. I'd blur the lines between truth and opinion until nothing meant anything. I'd teach them to chase dopamine, not purpose, to worship self, but loathe who they are. I wouldn't destroy them with war. I'd destroy them with apathy. I'd keep them distracted, numb, scrolling, always scrolling. I'd dismantle the family by redefining it. Make fathers optional, mothers exhausted, and children confused. I'd hand them a phone before they could speak in full sentences. And I'd watch their minds rot slowly, sweetly, silently. And the most brilliant part? They'd never know it was me. They'd call it freedom.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's what's happening. So hopefully y'all learn from this particular stream, and you take heed. This is not about tearing ChatGPT down. This is about being aware, because we're gonna use these apparatuses. We're gonna use social media. We're gonna use these things, but it's about being aware and conscious. ChatGPT just told you exactly what's happening right now. Hey, y'all do what y'all want with that information. Hopefully y'all will spread it around. I want y'all to like and share. Hopefully everybody's having a blessed evening. More material coming. Turn your post notification bell on. Thank y'all for viewing. Shalom and peace.